Hey, let me ask you a question. If one of your loved ones was murdered by electric chair, capital punishment for a crime they did not commit, of course this would be devastating. But in remembrance of them, would you get jewelry made in the exact fashion they were executed in? I mean, really, would you go to a jeweler and pay money for a pendant with your murdered relative in an electric chair? Sure you wouldn't, because that would be crazy, right? Unfortunately though, a large majority of people in this world today do not share the same sentiments on such a cruel situation. Ask me how I know. Go ahead, just ask. Well, because people do it every day for an unconfirmed man the scriptures call Jesus. Did you know that crucifixion was a Roman method of capital punishment in which the victim is tied or nailed to a large wooden beam and left to hang until they eventually die? Yet, because most of you are under a hypnotic spell of sleep of the conscious mind, you can't seem to see your obvious errors. Most people go to church with their children and no one ever asks the obvious question, like, what's with the dead man on the cross? I mean, his blood is dripping and everything. Whatever. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. I'm fearless. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in. Now, has anyone ever asked the questions like, is the person on that cross what Jesus actually looked like? It may sound trivial, but the Bible did say that God created man in his image and likeness, and the word image is of significance here, for it means to look like a person. And since it is believed that Jesus is the Son of God, then we can conclude that he looks like God. You follow? And if he looks like God in the image of a white person, then the blatant implication is Jesus must be of the white race. So, when a black or brown person looks at this image and don't see their image and likeness and still bow down to it and pray to it other than themselves, sending energies into another race and not back into themselves like all other races do, you know something is wrong in the mental. When others visit Egypt, the land that is ours, and see statues of black people as deities, which predates religion, they would ignorantly say things like, that is mythology. But if you go to almost any church and see statues of white people, we are made to feel guilty if we don't accept them as real, although the characters of the scriptures have never been proven to be real. I think that's called, double standards. Just ask people who believes in the scriptures, is that image in your church the exact replica of Jesus? And is that image the exact replica of the chain around your neck? And is that image the exact replica in your house on the wall or mantle? And if you visited different churches like the Mormons church, ask them if the image they have is the exact replica of Jesus. Go to the Seventh-day Adventist church and ask them if the image that they have is the exact replica of the Jesus as in the Mormons church. Go to the Jehovah's Witness church and ask them if the image that they have is the exact replica of Jesus in the Seventh-day Adventist church. Go to the Baptist church and ask them the same question, for in all of these churches the image of Jesus is different. And religious people don't seem to see this as a problem. So, will the real Jesus please stand up? I heard someone say that Jesus is popping, and I agree. For he is popping up in everybody's church with a completely different face. So, which church has the real Jesus, if there was a Jesus? The fact that all the images of Jesus is a white person lets you know that someone or some group of people deliberately ignored what their own Bible give as a description of Jesus. Most agree that Revelation 1:14-15 describes Jesus, and this particular quote, if it is Jesus, offers clues that his skin was of a darker hue and his hair was woolly in texture. Is this racism? More than likely, but hey, who's judging? Here in the Western Hemisphere and abroad, we have unfortunately become complacent with racism. So, when the intelligent amongst us say, okay, keep your Jesus, keep your Christianity, keep your Islam, keep your religions, whatever the name may be, because it has done absolutely nothing for us, but taught us to have faith and belief, which demands that you don't question authority. And if you have the tendency to not question what you're a part of, then you deserve the abuse you will receive. Knowing this revelation lets us know that the white image of who most people believe to be Jesus is really not Jesus. The major reason for the present white image of Jesus is Michelangelo, the painter. Just look at his name, Michael Angelos, or said backward, the angel Michael. The implication is that he's one of God's angels, when that too has not been proven as a fact. He was contracted by Pope Julius II to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the 1500s, and yes, God was painted white as well. But hey, who's judging? Mr. Angelo used members of his own family as models. In fact, his cousin was the model for Jesus. Message. Another painter by the name of Leonardo da Vinci was also employed by Caesar Borgia. Caesar's father was Cardinal Rodrigo de Lanzo y Borgia, who later became Pope Alexander VI, and he schemed to have the Catholic Church accept his son's image as that of Jesus Christ. Message. So, most of you are actually worshiping these guys' relatives, and then they make you feel funny for acknowledging your own ancestors who you're related to. Sounds like double standards again. The truth is, the Bible, particularly the Old Testament, which is really the Torah, was a play plagiarized from the ancient Sumerians called the Enuma Elish tablets. And the New Testament was also a play written by Josephus Calpurnius Piso. And some will postulate that he never existed, just as Jesus, but who's judging? With all jokes aside, there's very little historical evidence of the existence of a man named Jesus Christ, who died for the sins that most of you are still committing today. Listen, don't believe a word that I say. Please, just go and check it out for yourself. Stop believing, and when you find out what I'm saying is true, come back home to the people of truth. I'm Kef Ray, and this is Back to the Basic. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Peace. Facts restated. You wanna know something? Go back to basics. Mozart trapping was called the Matrix. The world fibrilized, yet it's hard to face it. So I spread truth, hope you embrace it.